Good evening everyone, welcome back to my channel, True Crime with Jess Rose. I'm on tonight because one of my lovely subscribers mentioned a case that happened in March of this year. Now, I didn't know anything about this, and it's actually my first story that I've ever done where I won't have a sentence for you yet for the crime that's been committed. But it's such an upsetting story. You know, when she mentioned it to me, I started having a look, and it's just my heart dropped, my stomach dropped, everything. It's just such an awful case, and it's the story of Keaton Boggs. His name is, and he's a little boy born on January 15, 2015. Cute little boy, loved fire trucks, just really such a cute little lad. And it's not mentioned his early years. There's a couple of photos with his mum and his dad, but I think things were okay. His mum, her name is Jessica Bishop-Holt, and his dad is Keaton Boggs, and they were obviously together. And Jessica had 4 other children from previous relationships. Now, it's not says if they all lived with the 2, but basically Christopher, who was an army veteran, and Jessica, it's said that they started taking drugs together. So it's not insinuated that they either had a drug problem away from each other. Also, I think they'd stopped when Keaton was born. But basically, Jessica started taking drugs again, and they broke up. And she lost all rights to Keaton. Now, Christopher moved in with his mum, Michelle Boggs. There's a few names in this, so I just want to get them right. So Michelle Boggs is Christopher's mother, which is Keaton's grandmother. Keaton's auntie, who is his dad, Christopher's sister, is Chastity, and she's married to a gentleman called Peter James, sorry. And their last name's Wazinski. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. There's a D in it, but I don't think you pronounce it, so it's Wazinski. So, yeah, like I say, Christopher moved in with his mum, his sister and brother-in-law. They had 3 kids, so quite a lot in the house. And it's said that they moved around a lot. Not the nicest family in the world. Michelle Boggs, a grandmother who I had lovely experiences with my nans, both of them. You know, you hear grandmother and you automatically think, you know, nurturing, lovely woman. Now, this wasn't Michelle Boggs at all. It's said that when Christopher and Chastity were younger, she used to say, no, it's Jessica saying this, Jessica, Keaton's mom. Now, don't forget, she broke up with Christopher, but this is what she states, is that when Christopher was younger, Michelle used to make him and his sister say they were ill, and they wasn't. So there's kind of hints of Munchausen by proxy, nothing substantiated. It's just things that I've heard when I've been looking at this story. But either way, Michelle, not a good person. No one's got anything nice to say about this woman. Now, Chastity and Peter James, Christopher's sister and brother-in-law, were said to be good parents to their 3 children. Not bad people. So it said. And this is where Keaton lived for a couple of years. But his dad, Christopher, last year, On June the 16th, 2019, Krista had fell off the wagon and he'd gone back into drugs, taking drugs. I think it's quite bad drugs as well, and he died of an overdose. On, like I say, June the 16th, 2019, he died last year. And this is where things went really, really badly for Keaton. And you can tell by my kind of stuttered information of this, it's all very sketchy of Keaton's years on this earth. You know, his parents are both, you know, they're both into hard drugs. His grandmother's not a good person. His aunt and uncle, you'll see soon. And yeah, this poor Mo, it just sounds like he just didn't have a good time ever. I could be very wrong, but you know, he was born in 2015, so not a lot to go into that says he was happy. Now, like I say, Christopher, who was an army veteran, he was honourably discharged from the service when he was injured. Became a firefighter, and like I say, unfortunately, got back into drugs and had an overdose, and he died. Now, at the funeral for Christopher, it said that Michelle automatically took Keaton, you know, and she was granted, I think it was temporary custodial, what do you call it, custodial parent over Keaton. And it said that this was purely financial, you know, for whatever money she could get for looking after him. It's not said that there was any love for him. Now, Jessica, Keaton's mom, at this point was off drugs. She was waiting for her probationary period to end to go for full custody of Keaton. So this is kind of going on in the background. And she was clean at that point for about 8 months when Christopher died. So she had to wait out of probation, and she wanted him back. And it said that she did try and visit Keaton when Christopher was alive and after, but Michelle wouldn't let her see him. I'm like, that's your son, like, but how can someone stop you? But apparently that's, Christopher couldn't even argue with his mom. She'd take Keaton down to the basement when Jessica joins him, and they moved around a lot. Now, Keaton was actually born in Pennsylvania, but at the time his dad had died, and he was in the care of Michelle, Chastity, and Peter. I think we call him Peter James. He was living in West Virginia. Now, I don't know how close or far Pennsylvania is to West Virginia, but they moved around a lot. And this is where it went really, really wrong for Keaton. Telling this story, it's very similar to the Gabriel Fernandez case, Ellie Mae Butler, Baby P. Very short amount of time where things went really wrong for Keaton. Now, the lady who asked me to look at this, my subscriber who asked me to look at this, I don't know if she wants me to say her name, so I'm not going to. But she said you need to see these pictures. And when you look, now, I quite deliberately in my stories don't do what a lot of, not just true crime, but other YouTubers do, and put the pictures up. And there is a reason for that. I don't edit my videos, and I stopped putting the pictures up. I did go through a stage of having them edited just with pictures, but I think sometimes these pictures are so graphic or so upsetting that they stay with you, and I think it should be you as a viewer's choice if you want to see pictures like this. Now, we've all got a morbid curiosity. If you're watching my channel, it's true crime, you know, there's always that morbid curiosity where you feel like you do need to look, even though you know you're going to regret it. But I like to leave that up to yourselves, you know, so you can make an informed decision whether you want to see these pictures or not. And this particular couple of pictures I'm talking about were Keaton's 5th birthday, so which would have been the 15th of January this year. On the photos, it's obviously at a birthday party and he's sat on a chair and there's presents behind him. Oh, and it's just, your heart breaks as you look at it. He's got a huge lump on his head. He's got 2 black eyes. He's got a couple of teeth missing, but he is 5, so, you know, I can't speculate. They could have just fell out, but, oh my goodness. And it's his 5th birthday party, and you can see him trying to smile, but it looks like he's got kind of a mask on. It's just the saddest picture. It genuinely is, and that's what I was saying. It is quite hard. So, you know, when you put in Keaton Boggs online, it automatically comes up. So just to let you know, obviously if you do want to look, it's just, you only have to put his name and you see the photo I'm talking about. But there were other pictures of Keaton. Now, if you go online, there are a couple of channels on YouTube itself. I don't know, I should have checked really, I don't know if I'm allowed to say the names of other channels. I'm not sure how that works, but if you put in Keaton Boggs online, if you maybe if you put in the comments, I can put it in I'll put it in the description. There's another channel that has got these Facebook photos, and these Facebook photos of Keaton were found having been sent from Michelle Boggs, his grandmother, to it doesn't say who she sent them to, so we don't know, but whoever she sent them to forwarded these photos to Keaton's. It's his grandmother's nephew, which would be his dad's cousin, so it would be Keaton's 2nd cousin. I don't know the name of the gentleman. He's got a wife, and basically these photos were forwarded to him from this. I don't know what Michelle was thinking of. They were sent in February. I genuinely don't know her thought process in sending these photos, but oh God, he's black and blue. His stomach. Someone has said that the one mark on his stomach, it did remind me of Victoria Climbier when there was a buckle mark on her side. It said that it looks like it's from a steel toe cap boot on his stomach. Now again, not substantiated. This is a case that's ongoing. So, you know, it'll come out later on. But this is what has been said at the moment. And it's just his head, his stomach. Oh, he's just black and blue. And I don't get why she sent them. Apparently it was someone she hadn't spoken to in a long time, and she sent these photos onto. I don't think this family cares at all, because even the birthday photos, which were obviously taken in January, they're put up on Chastity's Facebook page. She put them up. She put them up. I'm assuming my nephew's 5th birthday party, and she was asked on the Facebook post, you know, what happened to him, and she put in not very good grammar. It's got to be said. I've seen the she didn't seen the brightest tool in the box, sharpest tool in the box. God, brightest tool in the box. But she said, oh, the dog tripped him up and fell down the stairs, or knocked him down the stairs. It was just so flimsy. She put the photos up. It's just crazy. And then these other photos that the nan sent to a friend she hadn't seen in a long time, that gets sent to. All I can think, it would be Keaton's 2nd cousin, because it's the dad's 1st cousin. And him and his wife call CPS. You know, they get these photos, call CPS. Nothing's done. Like I say, they moved around a lot. I don't know whether there was an excuse, although for these 9 months, from when Christopher, Keaton's dad, died, they didn't move again. The family stayed put. Now, there was a point in February this year that Keaton was allowed to go to this cousin's house, with the cousin and his wife's house, to babysit. And Chastity said it's because a friend of hers who works for CPS was coming round for the evening. Okay. So, understandably, she's going to want to get Keaton out of there because this friend works for CPS. But what's questionable is that when Keaton goes to this second cousin's home, him and his wife see the bruises. Remember I said the nan had sent some photos and the photos got sent to him, he called CPS. Well, when Keaton got to his, which was after those photos were taken, he said the bruises had started to go down. Don't forget, these are different bruises to the ones on his birthday in January. But still enough to be really, really disturbed by. And he asked Keaton, you know, what happened, and it was said that he was a very introverted boy then, and he just kind of said, I did it. He's 5. And obviously the cousin and the wife are really distressed by this, and they phoned CPS again. Nothing's done. Nothing. Not even a welfare check. In the meantime, you've got Jessica, his mum, who he'd said that was, you know, she was really trying to get this boy back. She by this point, she'd been off drugs for, it said 400 days, 14 months, I think, you know, something along those lines. She was really trying to get him back. Now, oh God, it's just so sad. On the 18th of March this year, which rings a bell for me because it's when we'd started to go into lockdown, Keaton had become unresponsive. He was unconscious in the nan's house. So the nan, Michelle, Chastity, obviously his auntie, and Peter, the uncle, they don't phone an ambulance for this 5-year-old little boy who is unconscious. They take him in their car to the hospital. And when they get him there, his head is double the size it should be. There's a lot of, obviously, bruises, marks on him, abrasions. And separately and together, they couldn't get their story straight at all. This is in the hospital of how this happened. It went from the dog had done it. It was like a roundup of all the excuses they'd been giving. The dog had done it. He'd done it himself. One of the other kids had done it that were living in the home. Just nothing matched up, and the hospital staff were looking at this poor little boy, knowing none of this right, and they, of course, they phoned the authorities straight away. What they also noticed, now at this hospital, they couldn't respond. It wasn't enough to help Keaton. He had catastrophic head injuries. I mean, his head was double the size it should be, and he got transferred to a children's hospital. And when they got there, they seen something else on Keaton, and it was a 1.5 inch laceration on his little penis. And when asked about this, Michelle, this is what I mean, there was no, by the flimsy excuses they gave, it was like there was no hiding what they did. She said, oh, well, I told him if he didn't stop playing with it, I was going to cut it off. And it looked like she'd had a good go. I mean, there was bruising to his genitals, and then this 1.5 inch laceration. He's 5. Now, he had bleeding on the brain and irreversible brain damage. And it was said that had he survived, it was irreversible. He was brain damaged. But on March the 20th, 2020, he Keaton Boggs died of his injuries. He couldn't deal with it anymore. He'd been through 9 months of hell with that family. All 3 have been charged with murder and are being held without bond in West Virginia. Now, Michelle Boggs, the grandmother, it just baffles my brain, because it was obviously around the time and what we're all living now with COVID-19. She's got COPD. Apparently, there's question marks on that, but on her photograph, she's got the oxygen in. Oh, she just looks the worst. And obviously it affects people with chest respiratory issues. So her lawyer asked for her to be released based on these facts. Luckily, that's been denied. Now, it's all very, I mean, this was, like I said, it was in the 20th of March. It's very current, given the state of what, you know, the situation that there is in the country and in America. Worldwide, everything's a little bit slower. So at the moment, that's actually all the information I have on them 3. They are being held. There's no bond being issued. I do know there isn't a death penalty in West Virginia. So it was said. So unfortunately, we know that's not going to happen. I mean, it's said that the most they will get, if found guilty, is life without parole. I think we can all just hope that that will be the outcome. And obviously I'll do an update when the trial and sentence is announced. Now, like I say, online, there's also an interview with Jessica. Her name, like I say, it's Jessica, but it's spelled with a K, so it's Jessika. And it's Jessica Bishop-Holt. So you can put in online for her interview. And I have found this hard because in things I've watched on this, there's a lot of sympathy for Jessica. A lot. And I can sympathise as far as what has happened to that poor little boy, poor Keaton. But I noticed on a couple of the programmes I watched that there was an overabundance of sympathy, in the sense of, you know, she's clean and she shouldn't get any blame for this. And, you know, I mean, she said on her telephone interview, and, you know, what I've seen, that she hasn't gone back onto drugs again, you know, given the pressure of what's happened. But I'm finding it really hard to clap my hands. I genuinely am. And obviously in the climate we're in at the moment, to not be applauding someone for that might be frowned upon, but you're not the victim. You're not. You let him down at the beginning. It wasn't you. You know, I always say that in my stories. The people who committed the murder of Keaton and the other stories I've done are 100% to blame. I get that. I understand. Just like, I can't even compare her to Kellyanne Bates' parents at all. I can't even put them in the same category. I can't. She had 5 children. It's on a lot of what I've read, that's not mentioned a lot. It sounds like this is her only child. This was her youngest child, Keaton. The other 4 kids are living with their fathers. She hasn't got them back yet either. You know, and somewhere along the line, you know, it's really hard, because I know it's the grandmother and the aunt and uncle's fault. I get that. But there's got to be some accountability, surely. And, you know, I did notice with her in a call, there does seem to be, I mean, of course there'll be guilt, I'm not saying that, but there seems to be some accountability there. I feel like it's more the people talking about it, to be honest, that are very sympathetic. And of course, as a mum, your heart does go out to her. But there's got to be some sort of accountability there. I'm not saying in the sense of a charge or anything like that. I'm not going that route. I'm just saying that if you watch what I've seen online, you'll possibly see what I'm on about. It's like there's 2 victims in it, and I'm sorry, there's one, and his name is Keaton Boggs. That's it. That's my opinion. Only mine. That's what I'm giving you. Obviously, you might not agree. Put it in the comments. That's fine. But the fact is had Christopher as well, who, unfortunately, did fall off the wagon and, I was obviously died of an overdose. Had Keaton's parents made better choices, then he'd be celebrating his 6th birthday in January next year. And he won't. He only made it 2 and a bit months into his 5th birthday. It's just so upsetting. It really is. It really is. And like I say, I will do an update video once the trial's ended and the sentence had been given, and hopefully it will be life without parole. Thank you again to my subscriber who, mentioned this story to me, because it definitely should be out there. It definitely should be spoken about. And yeah, just thank you very much for joining me again. My throat's caught. I don't know how to end the story again. Oh, it's just, like I say, photos are out there. I'll put it in the description. I will check if it's okay to do so, but if it is, I'll put the channel of where I seen the Facebook pictures. But the birthday party photo that I was talking about, his 5th birthday, that's just on your normal search engine. You can have a look, put his name in, Keaton Boggs, Boggs, and it's the first thing that comes up. And oh God, it's a real stomach dropper, so I will warn you. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me again, and I'll see you next time. And yeah, I've tried not to. I did my eyebrows today. My attempt went badly wrong, and as my sister says, it looks like a McDonald's sign, so they're covered with my glasses. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me again, and I will see you soon. Take care.